This video is going to be on the GoPro mounts. I'm going to be doing one video on the large tube mount for the bicycle handlebars, and I am attaching that to a video I did using the small handlebar mount that did not work. It is labeled to work for up to 1.4 inch diameter on the handles, and it does not even come close to working a 1.4. So this is supposed to be 1.4 and above, and if I have to, I'll put some padding or some rubber material underneath the bracket, the mounting, to make this thing fit. But using the smaller one, I had to return it. This video is also going to be about the chesty GoPro chest mount, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. First, we're going to deal with the large tube mount for the bicycle. Let's take this out. Let's get this thing open. They're really fairly simple. Check out my channel. I've done a whole bunch of videos the last couple weeks on the new GoPro Hero 7 that I bought, Hero 7 Black. And the reason I ended up buying the GoPro handle, okay, this looks a little better. I don't know if this is going to work, but the reason I bought the GoPro handle is, check out my channel. I bought another handle. I think it was Shurewo, S-U-R-E-W-O. A beautiful bracket, just really nice. I love the mechanics of it. I love the ratcheting feature, which I just thought was incredible. And I took the bike out. Okay, the GoPro mounts with this little screw, clamps it down, makes it very easy. Shurewo mounts with two Allen head screws. I did 3/4 of a mile on my bike ride. The screws came loose, and that was the end of a happy bike ride, because I had the handlebar bracket bouncing all over the handlebars for my 20-mile ride, and I wanted to do the video, so I didn't really have a choice but hold on to the handlebar mount for 20 miles. So it was a nightmare, and I returned it. I returned it not because it was such a bad bracket, because I think the Shurewo is a really, or Shurewo, I think it's a really neat bracket, and I love the ratchet thing. I just thought, I was so upset that it ruined my bike ride, and I was thinking, if I have to tighten down these screws and carry an Allen head wrench with me, this is not going to work, and I did not want to put on thread sealant to stop that from happening. So this looks much, much, much bigger. This is the screw that goes onto the camera, and this is the mount that, if you know anything about these, you lift this thing up and slide it in. Okay, so just like the smaller one, except this is bigger. Yeah. If you like my videos, do that thumbs up, subscribe, like, share, comment. If you want to donate to my channel, ask for my PayPal info. Is this going to turn back? Okay, there it goes. And it's a review channel, so if you have a product you want reviewed, if I can get a hold of it, I'll do it. Just contact me. So this looks like it's much bigger. I think this is going to work. I think it might be too big, but the regular handlebar bracket is way too small. So let's check it out and see what happens. All right, here's the Trek bike, the new bike. I just want to be able to mount this thing without, that didn't sound right. I just want to be able to mount this without having a humongous hassle. I just don't want to deal with a big hassle when I'm putting this on. So it's unfortunate I couldn't keep the other bracket. As far as the GoPro, the small one, it's unfortunate I couldn't keep that. And I'm looking at this one now and I'm going, oh my gosh, this thing is humongous. So let me see how this is going to work. Let's go get a side view. There we go. So, you know, people think these videos are really easy and you just pop them on the internet, and no. You got to get the camera set up, you got to get some good lighting, which I don't have the best lighting right now. There's a lot of work involved. And then you have to edit it and render it and upload it, and there's just a lot going on. So I don't know, the brake cables are right next to this, which I don't like. I don't like that at all. They normally wouldn't be next to it, except I have the brake handles extended. So I'm trying to figure out which way I want to put this on, which is going to extend this video to about 2 hours. Do I want the screw going towards the front? And no, because that's going to get in the way of the cable down here, which I do not want. I don't like that. So the reason I'm showing this is you're probably going to be dealing with the same thing if you have brake cables or gear cables that are in the way. I don't know. Okay, so I think this is going to work. Let's go clamp this thing down and see what happens. And plus am I doing this right? I don't even know if I'm doing this right. Yeah, okay, so it's tightening down. So the thing about GoPro is they've been doing this for years. They know what to do. They know if their stuff is good or not. They know if it's good quality. They know if it's going to last. They know if they're going to get a zillion returns. And so they have done a lot of testing. And there are a lot of really neat things out there that you can buy that are made by third party. And I'm not saying they don't work, because a lot of them do. But, you know, you get what you pay for. GoPro is definitely a lot more money. And so I'm tightening this thing right now. Like I said, the smaller one did not work. And I just want to see right now. I want to zoom in for you. So it looks okay. Is it going to spin? That's the whole thing. You know, it's going to spin a little bit, and I don't like that. It's kind of strange that this is it's kind of like this, the bracket, and you would think that they would make it so that it would mount and it would go like this. So there it is. Remember I was talking about I wish they could do it in the oblong this way, downward? Well, that's kind of what we're doing now. The rod comes out over here, so while I'm riding I should be able to tighten it if I have a problem with that. Camera is facing forward, so we don't have a problem with that. The only disadvantage is the SureWow has a ratchet, which while I was riding on the bike path, I was able to turn it towards the ocean, towards the beach. And this one, they talked about how you could rotate it, but I don't really see how. So I am very happy with this. I believe there are holes in I think this is a lanyard hole in the case. I'm definitely going to put some type of a thing on here, so in case the bracket comes loose, the camera doesn't go flying onto the ground. When the camera is removed, I'm trying to get this to focus, there's a little button over here. You press it down and it allows you to rotate. So some people are saying that if you rotate it too much, you might get a lot of vibration. You have to tighten it on the bottom with the 8mm wrench. A little different than the SureWow, which just allowed an easy rotation. This, you really need to go in there and do some movement. So it's definitely secure. People online are saying, you know, it's going to wobble a little bit, or you're going to get vibration, or the more you loosen and the more you rotate this, the more you're going to have to tighten the nut underneath, which means taking the whole thing off. There it is, people. I completely relocated and repositioned the bracket, which I'm going to show you from the side in a minute. It is still too big, but better too big than too small, right? Okay, so we can see the front. I'm able to position the camera the right angle. If I want to lean in, where is that little lever? Where is that thing? If I want to mess with this, which I don't know if I will, I can do that, press down, and I can do the rotation. That is a side view, so I've got it going with the gaps in the front and the back like you would think it should be, and it gives me a little bit more control. It's still not tight. I don't know how much vibration wobbling I'm going to get with the bracket when I'm recording, but so far it looks good. I have the camera mounted over there, so I think we're good. I like it. I'm going to be taking it out on the road. I'm testing it out. I'll do a video maybe next week letting you see the camera and the bracket in action as I take it for another 20-mile ride, and we'll test it out. So make sure to come back and watch this channel. Remember, thumbs up, subscribe, like, comment, and all that other cool stuff. This is going to be a video review of the GoPro Handlebar Seatpost pole mount. Alright, they sell this in two different styles. They sell this in the handlebar thing, which I've got here, which I believe goes from, I don't know what, something like, it goes up to 1.4 inches. So what does it say there? 0.35 to 1.4 inches. And that's really important. Measure the diameter, not the circumference, measure the diameter of your handlebar. My handlebar is 1.3. So this should work on the 1.3 because this is 1.4. Now, I don't want to badmouth any companies, but check out my channel. I just did a review on another company that has a handlebar mount, and it's an awesome handlebar mount. Believe me, it's really cool because it's got a ratchet control. And so I did the review, and then I did, what you want to do is check out the video where I do a bike ride. I think it says first bike ride from Playa del Rey to Torrance or something like that. That is where the other handlebar mount that I had, and this is important if you're considering buying handlebar mounts, that is where the other handlebar mount, you can hear me through the whole video flipping out. Within the first 3/4 of a mile, the screws on the bracket came loose, and I know you can blame that on me, but I tightened it down with a wrench about as tight as could be, and of course screws are going to come out with vibration. There was no Loctite or anything included in the package to lock the screws down, and I don't know that I would want that. Maybe a vibration type thread material to stop it from the screws from coming out, but they came out within the first 3/4 of a mile, and I wanted to record that video because it was my first bike ride and the first time using the GoPro on a bike ride, the first bike ride with the new bike. So I really didn't have a chance or a choice to go back home and find a bracket. And the bracket was wobbling around on the handlebar the whole time, and it really messed up the ride. It messed up the whole idea of being able to have my first ride and enjoy it, because I spent the whole time, literally the whole time, I spent 20 hours editing the video to cut the camera out that was spinning around the handlebars, taking pictures of my crotch and my shorts, and just spinning all over. It was not a good situation. So I ended up returning that. I love the bracket because it was a, how does this come out? I love the bracket because it was a ratchet control. And I just thought that, how does this come out? I just thought that was really neat to be able to, okay, so I thought it was really neat to be able to ratchet the bracket on the handlebars. So while I was riding on the bike path, I was able to turn the bracket a little bit, turn the ratcheting part, and record the ocean or the beach or the sand. Yeah, I know it also recorded my wrist a bunch of times, but it's a really nice idea, and the machining is incredible. It's a good quality bracket. The only problem, as I said, is that it ruined my whole ride because I needed to have a wrench to tighten it down, and I shouldn't have to tighten this thing down on the first ride. And if it's going to do it the first ride, it's going to do it every other ride, unless you find a way to torque it down and hold it that way. So I was not thrilled, and I thought, just go spend the money and do it the right way and buy the GoPro Bracket. Now, as I said, they make this in 2 different models. They make this will go up to the 1 1/4 diameter, and then they make another one that goes from 1 1/4. I forget what it goes to, like 2 inches or 3 inches or something. Who knows? Okay, so I spent the money and I bought the GoPro Bracket. And the reason I did that, let's see what we have here. We have 3 different pieces. So when I put the other bracket on, it took me about 10-15 minutes because I had to keep holding the bracket wanted to spin, and you have to tighten both screws, and you have to use an Allen head tool, Allen head wrench that they include with the, how does all this stuff come out? That they include, but does this open up? Does this open up? Okay, so it took a long time to get it on, and I thought, wow, this thing's torqued down. It's not going anywhere. This is nice. So the reason I'm doing this detailed part is that, like all of us have learned, sometimes you have to return things, and you try to figure out how the heck do you box it up to put it back in. And if you don't record, you can't do that. So I don't really know what I have here. Looks like I have two different handlebar holders. I'm going to read the instructions in a minute, and then I'm going to let you know what is included here. And okay, so this is just not going to come apart unless I tear it, and that's what I'm going to do. And then I've got 4 parts. I have 4 parts. Looks like this goes, okay, so you're going to use one of your, okay, yeah, now we're talking. Now we are talking. I can see right now, you unscrew this, and it's going to pop open. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to look at the video so I can give you a good educated way that this is supposed to be done. What I'm seeing right now is that they gave, did they give 2 pieces? I don't know. I'll be back. Reading the box, this is pretty typical of most GoPro products. They don't give you instructions, not that you should need them, but believe me, when I set up my camera the first time, like, how do you plug this stuff in? Where do you put the memory card? Where do you put the battery? So I did a YouTube video on how to deal with the first time things that most of us are going to have to deal with. So what this comes with, it says it comes with handlebar Seatpost pole. So I'm assuming this is the handlebar Seatpost pole. It comes with a large rubber insert and a small rubber insert. It comes with the vertical mounting buckle, which I'm assuming is this, and then it comes with the thumb screw. So this is going to be in case you have a bigger handlebar. Yeah, thicker handlebar, I'm assuming. Or maybe this is the smaller one because that's got a smaller hole. And this has got a bigger hole. And you always got to worry about the small holes and the big holes when you're doing things. So this is the bigger hole, probably the one that's going to fit on most of the bikes. And then this will just screw on somehow. And this will go in to mount your camera. And this will slide in to here. The first time I opened up the box of my camera, I'm like, how the heck do you use this thing? I had no idea. You have to lift this thing up, and you slide this in. It only goes in one direction, so you slide it all the way in, it locks in place, and then you push this. You got to wait for it to snap in, or there it goes, or it's not going down. And then it goes in place. So let me get over to the bike, figure out how this mounts. Supposedly, you can turn this, you can rotate it. I don't know if it's going to be as good at ratcheting as the other one was. When I go to mount this, okay, so this is neat because with the original one, not this unit, but with the original pieces that I have, when I go to insert this screw-on piece, I always am able to insert it. I never insert it the right way, and then it doesn't screw into the left side and it falls off. So this is one step you're going to have to do. You might have to do it now. You might have to do it when after you get this mounted to the bike. And the advantage of this is that you should be able to, well, yeah, I think if you're going to change batteries, you could probably open up the bracket and pull the camera out without doing any damage to this piece. But you might want to unscrew it to have a little bit more control. So you could not worry about cracking anything or bending anything. So this looks pretty simple as it is. I think you just unscrew this. Okay, whoa, I'm looking at this thing saying, how in the world is this going to go around a 1 1/4 handlebar? Maybe it can, maybe it can't. Let's find out. If you like my videos, thumbs up, subscribe, like, share, comment. It's a review channel, so if you need something reviewed, if I can get a hold of it, I'll do the review. If you want to donate to keep my channel going, which nobody ever does, ask for my PayPal info. You can leave me a nice donation. here we go. The lighting's not as good, but I think it's going to be okay. So you just unscrew this thing until... So far, I'm kind of intrigued. I'm curious how this thing's going to work. As I said, with the other bracket, literally 10, 15, it just took forever. I was not happy. I was not happy with how long it took to put on, and I was not happy that it just came off within no time. So let's see how this works. I don't know if this even good. Will it work? Will it not work? I don't know. I'm having my doubts right now. How is that going to clamp on there? How is that going to clamp on there? It's not going to clamp on there. Oh boy, this is not good. There is no way that this is going to work, because it can't get over. Do I need... I think I might have to use the other bracket. But, you know, it said 1.4, and I don't think this is going to work. All right, this is a trek bike, and the diameter with micrometer, with a digital caliper, actually, is 1.3 inches. So that's why I bought this, because it's supposed to go on 1.4 inches or smaller. But you can see this, you know, this is kind of an awkward diameter, but it's 1.4 no matter what. The whole thing is that you've got to have, this bracket needs to completely go around the handlebars, and that will not allow that, so that it can clamp into here. A little bit more force, and I will literally break this thing, which I don't want to do. So if you have, you can see how it's narrow over here and it's wider over here. Again, this is 1.3, but there is no way that I can get this in. By the time this comes in, there is no way that I can close this. So this is the smaller one. This is going to get packaged up. That's why we're always careful when we unpackage things. And I'm going to return this, and I'm going to get the bigger one, which is kind of going to mess up my bike ride tomorrow, which I wanted to record. But this is the GoPro, the smaller handlebar thing, and the other one goes from 1.4 inches up to, I forget what it is. I'm reading online now, the GoPro large tube mount for roll bars, pipes, and more, the GoPro official mount, $3 more, hinged non-slip design, connects quickly to any 1.4 to 2.5 inch, which is 3.5 to 6.35 centimeter diameter tube. Integrated base features 360-degree rotation with 16 secured positions, ensuring the perfect camera angle. I'm going to check that before I shut this off. Move your camera between mounts on the fly with the included vertical buckle to enable multiple points of views from dynamic footage. Durable construction, no loose parts to drop or lose. So I'm really unhappy. I'm not unhappy. I wish that I didn't have to return this, but that's the nice thing about buying online, is that you can return things. This looks like it's going to be really cool, and I want to check one thing out. And the smaller one that I've got here is called the GoPro Handlebar Seatpost Pole Mount. Official mount, also hinged non-slip, rotating 16 secure positions, perfect angle. The mounting buckle lets users move their camera between mounts on the fly. No loose parts, hinged non-slip design. Sets up in seconds to 0.35 to 1.4 inches, which is 9 to 35 centimeter diameter tube. Mounting buckle lets you move the camera between mounts. So, you know, this is, I really thought this was going to work on the Trek bike, and it's a new Trek bike. It's not going to work. There's just no way it's going to fit around the handlebars. I'm going to do a return, so I'm not going to be able to post this, obviously, because I want to do a good video review of the newer one, how it attaches, and then how it is when I take it out. I'll be back in about a week.